Hello there and welcome back. In this training module, we are going to explore how to go about setting up and creating provider services. First of all, let's go and find out what exactly we mean by provider services. A provider service is a service provided in your salon such as highlights, shampooing, styling, waxing, threading, massage, body wraps, body scrubs, facials, and other spa services. These are the actual services that you will sell to the end customers. Setting up provider services allows you to define the price, applicable taxes, the start and end dates for these services, the cost of these services, and various other parameters that are necessary to run your business. In this section, we will also define how these services are booked, any online booking options, any timing restrictions for these services, and any other resources needed to perform these services, such as material, room, space, or any special equipment. Let's go ahead and see how we can create a provider service. Again, under Setup, we go to General and then double click on the provider services. As you can see, I have a list of services that I had created previously. In our case, we are going to create a brand new service. I'm going to click on Add Local Provider Service. We now have an option. We can use an existing template of a previously created service as a template and modify it for the new service, which is faster and easier if the services are similar. However, for a purpose, we are going to use a blank template. So we're going to choose a blank template and say OK. I'm going to create a service which under the general category of perms. And the exact name of the service will be Spiral Perms, for example. We can now also enter other optional items such as item, sub-items, barcode if we choose to do so, a reporting track if we want to report that service for a particular track, let's say hair, for example. These are optional things. Under the General tab, what we can do is select whether we want to display that service in the register or not. We can apply taxes for the services. In other sections, we will define how much these taxes are, but for this service, we can say that every time the service is sold, tax 1 will be added to that service. We can define other optional things like if it's a buy one time only and the cost of that service if we want to put any cost to that service. Again, these are all optional things. Under the pricing tab, which is not optional and which is very, very necessary, we choose what salon it is on, if you have multiple salons or single salon. We can choose that this service and this price is applicable to either individuals or to a provider group. In our case, let's assume that this service and this price is applicable for all level 1 stylists. The price, let's put as $35. The price start date, we can put the price start date as the 23rd, for example. And beginning the 23rd, this service will be visible in the register to be sold. If the service has an end date after which this service cannot be sold, we will go ahead and put it in here. But if we don't have an end date, that's about it. Let's make sure that we get into a habit of saving stuff all the time. Under the expense tab, these are again optional. We can put in here the charge to the service provider that the salon will charge for performing his or service in the salon. Let's say, for example, for this particular case, the salon will charge the stylist $5 for doing that service to a client in the salon. So we can go ahead and do that and save. Again, if this particular service requires any lotion or shampoo, then this is a place where we would add the inventory. What will happen is that when that service is sold, an item of that particular inventory will be deducted from the inventory. Again, this is an optional thing and we do not have to worry about it too much. We have a section here on memos where we can pop up a memo when the service is sold, to remind either the service provider or the owner, or for whatever other purposes. It's very simple. We would pick up the salon. We can set up a memo for either a group of providers or for individual providers if we choose to do so. And the memo would say, "Have a great day," or it could be anything else. Again, remember to save all the time. In part 2 of creating the provider services tutorial, we will look at the booking options such as timing for the services, any restrictions, any resources required, and any memos that we want to create. Thanks for watching, and please watch part 2 of creating the provider service so that we can understand how to set up a basic service. Thank you.